Use this camera. Okay, use that one. So let's start today's session together. So in this environment, let's inquire into something together. Actually, our mind is very sensitive to various things around us. We know what is not good, don't we? Because the mind can perceive the conflict, the aggression. It's kind of a pettiness, or closeness, or exclusiveness. The mind needs that sensitivity to be able to be aware what is going on around us. Perceiving what is not good, can the mind come upon what is good, the goodness? Obviously, it is not a concept or an idea or a theory. All of those things have no meaning. When one deals with the actual living, the life now, the mind can perceive what is not good. Can the mind not be part of the not good? Obviously, human beings tend to imitate each other or conform to something, a pattern laid down by a society, by an authority. So this kind of a not good is like a virus spread over the world. In that imitation, people think it is normal to be that. So various disordered thinking and behaviors are justified. This is what is going on all the time throughout the world. In the imitation and the conformity to the whole society, the whole environment one is living in, one is no longer aware of what is being good.
I think I missed an introduction.
Yeah, please, madam.
Sorry, but I am the first time I'm here.
Yes.
And you start with a huge
Topic.
Yes. So maybe you can introduce me a bit, because there were 2 or 3 times you were together already.
Madam, please ask.
Yeah.
You can ask anything you want to know, and then the speaker can respond to you immediately.
Okay.
Please.
Well, I would like to have an introduction. Why this topic now at the moment?
Oh, madam, because this topic is about goodness.
Yes.
And which is relevant to everyone's living. And this is also the topic from Dao Zhi. That's why in this session, we study this topic, goodness. But actually, every topic is connected. Because all the things that we have been discussing together point to the truth. And each of us need to be alert, aware, conscious, to be able to come upon the truth which is never speakable, but there. So today's session, we start with the topic, goodness, because everybody can perceive its environment, various things that are going on in one's environment, various petty behaviors, aggressions, and various, contradictions. So with that perception of what is not good in the environment, can we find out what is being good? Obviously, our life is full of challenges. This whole world is rather commercial. Everything becomes more and more superficial. The commercialism and the consumerism is taking over everything in our life. Now, all those things denies goodness. People conform to this way of living, being commercial, selling, buying all the time. At the same time, everybody is confused about their living. People become very self-centered, utterly selfish. At the same time, everybody is going through various mental challenges, problems. Now, the ego, this kind of self-centeredness, is permeating the whole environment. Most people are conditioned to this. They think it's normal. They don't see the correlation between their suffering and this. And that's bringing about tremendous issues to our life, tremendous confusion. can one observe this as it is? Which means that we just observe it without any judgment, emotions, or denial, or justification. Just observe the fact.
Saying people are selfish
Seeing that.
is already a judgment.
No, just seeing the fact, not the verse.
Oh, you say people are being more selfish.
Yes. Can you see the fact, not depend on the speaker's verse? Just see the fact, perceive that, without any judgment or emotions or,
But isn't that a judgment already?
No, so the speaker make a statement that people are very selfish. But please don't get trapped in the verse, but see what this sentence are pointing to.
And what is it pointing to?
No, this state of being self-important, egocentric, doing what one wants to do without considering anything.
Is that the only explanation?
Sorry?
Is that the only explanation you can give to the behavior?
The explanation for what?
For what you see?
No, sir. We're just seeing. We're not explaining anything. We're just observing that.
Yeah, but you're giving an example.
So can you see the fact with the help or without the help of those words? Is that clear? Yeah, please, sir.
The way I would try to put it, maybe because the words are, when you say selfish, it comes with a big load, right? So maybe another way to say it is that people are driven by the sense of self. It's maybe a more neutral way to say it. It's not a judgment to say, oh, you're a selfish person and that's bad, but rather you perceive yourself and that is the driver for most of your behaviors. That's the way I interpret it, at least.
Will you feel better when you using that, when you hear that expression, sir?
Maybe the point is, what's the difference between a fact and a judgment?
Judgment, merely some verse, some explanations, right?
I understand.
But the fact is it is that. It's not. It's beyond the verse. We can use verse to point to that, but verse are never the thing. See the thing, not merely get entangled with verse. So please ask any questions, because this environment everybody is very open, honest. We can, if possible, we can go very deep.
I hope so.
Yeah, let's try our best.
Yeah, it's.
So maybe the speaker is asking you, why and how the mind interpret what the speaker says as a judgment.
Yeah, but when the mind interprets, then it's already judging.
Yes. So can we be aware of that? Just listen to the speaker without interpretation. Because I think this habit may be rather common in our daily life. We tend to easily interpret other people's saying, and then we can easily get into the argument in that argumentative state. So now can we listen and sometimes be aware of this tendency to interpret? Our life in many moments are are dominated by words, by the language. And our mind has this habitual tendency to translate what one hears or interpret according to one's own experience, knowledge, conclusions, ideas. And when we are doing that, argument can be easily pop up. So can we try to do something different today in the session? Just listen. Please don't agree or disagree with the speaker. When you agree or disagree, then we are all on the level of the verbal things, right? But when we see the fact, which is never verbal, and then we have no argument because we all see the same thing. So it demands hard work from each of us to be fully aware, to be in full attention. Because if the speaker is allowed, he like to point out that most people are rather verbal. The mind has been so entangled with language, with very subtle expressions. And therefore, we get a lot of troubles from that. We have various neurotic behaviors driven by those things. So is that possible for one just simply be aware of everything? Observe one's reactions to the words, to the language, to the expressions. Because when one does not observe the reaction to the words, the reaction immediately hijacks that person. Then there's argument. And then with that argument, people have various problems. This bitterness. But all those things can be avoided when the mind can give full attention to everything.
Can you explain?
Yeah, please.
Make it a bit more clear what you mean when you say everything.
For example, when I hear somebody speaking to me, I must be aware of my reaction to his words, his expressions. That awareness prevents me from being trapped in that reaction. At the same time, the mind is listening to figure out what one is actually speaking to, talking about. So that's the work I need to do every time I converse or communicate with anybody. First, not get trapped in the verse. Second, find out what one wants to say. He may have different expressions. It doesn't matter. But I need to find out what he really wants to express. But you see, in everyday life, we tend to be trapped by the reactions to other people's expressions, and then the communication comes to a stop, and we have misunderstandings. And those misunderstandings bring about extra obstacle for people being together to communicate, to interact, for example. maybe the speaker can give another example. So when I hear somebody, like somebody is speaking to me, can my mind also be aware the whole environment? Also, maybe the mind can also hear the traffic outside. So when I'm listening to somebody, I'm also be aware of all the environment around it. I'm not concentrating on what he says. I'm not concentrating. I'm in full attention. I think this concept must be made clear. The difference between concentration and full attention.
I think I have a complete other expectation of a gathering of Taoistic meditation, because it's a lot of words, and I thought you could introduce us into Taoism instead of reflecting on the world as it is or whatever, because I come to learn about Taoism more instead of hearing so many words.
Madam, please drop any expectation.
Okay,
yeah.
That's an easy way to put it.
No, madam, because this.
Well, I reflect on what you do, and you are speaking. And then you say don't reflect or do why don't you sit at ease, for instance? Why don't you sit at ease? Why don't you breathe?
Madam, I just want to.
That's my question.
I just want to tell you that this session is about Dao De Jing, not about Daoism.
Okay.
Dao De Jing is different.
About the book.
Dao De Jing is different from Daoism.
Okay.
It's totally different.
Okay, that's okay.
So having.
So you talk about the book.
The real meaning of Dao De Jing, not of Daoism.
The real
meaning of Dao De Jing, not Daoism.
Is that the sentence, the way of
the truth,
goodness, or is it the translation of the? Do you talk about the book, the Tao Te Ching book?
Yes, madam.
Okay, with just first heaven and then the signs in it and so on. The 64 tekens, the 64 signs of.
No.
Which book are you talking about?
We talk about Dao De Jing, written by Lao Tzu.
Yeah.
That this is not Daoism, madam, because Daoism is a different thing. It's a religion, but Dao De Jing is not religion. It's something very secular.
Kind of. I don't think in Holland Taoism is seen as a religion. It's more like a philosophy, a way of living.
But yes, madam.
We don't not everybody says Taoism is a religion.
Oh.
There is a religious part, can be, but we don't live that.
I understand, madam.
The relationship between Dao De Jing and Daoism.
Yeah.
Dao De Jing is the original literature of Dao philosophy.
Yeah.
That book in Chinese only has 5,000 characters.
Yeah.
And some of the most classic quotes are on this page.
Yeah, I recognized, yes.
Yeah, and the goodness actually is one of the most, is the core message.
Yeah, the book is translated as the way of the deugd, and the deugd is in het Engels. Dus
Virtue, I think.
Virtue, yeah. It's in Holland. It's translated as the way of the deugd. That's yeah. The deugd is being good, but without that it's only good.
Can I make a suggestion or a question for you?
Yeah.
Sorry. So you're expecting a type of meditation.
Yeah.
You've done some type of meditation before?
Yes.
Yeah. So usually, like, you sit and you just let the environment come to you, and you're not responding, right? You're a bit of in a receptive state. Is that your experience?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you can try to do, and that's, I was here last time also, and
Yeah.
I came because I liked it, and I experienced it as a type of meditation, because I was sitting here and the speaker was speaking, and I was letting the word come to me without trying to, right? I'm not great at it, but trying not to tell my own stories about it and trying to judge it. Just let it wash.
Yeah, I
And then
understand.
after that, you
Yeah.
know, whatever work, something comes out of it, maybe something doesn't come out of it, maybe,
Yeah.
but it is a type of meditation.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
a
I can
sense,
understand how I can receive
Yeah,
how I'm present in this way,
right.
but still, yeah,
And the speaker here, he has his own view of Tao Te Ching that he wants to express in his own word and share, and we can take it in and you know, do something with it or not do something with it.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I interpret this
I
session.
understand.
Yes.
I understand. It's clear.
Okay.
Should we continue?
Is this true? You agree with him? This explanation?
Well, if this lady feels okay in this way, yeah, that's fine with me. The words are never the thing, right? So let's continue. So one must be clear about the difference between concentration and full attention. When one is in full attention, one is be aware of everything around, without any judgment, without any justification or resistance. Just be with what is. But concentration is different. What is behind concentration is effort. Try to focus on something very small. And when we are talking to each other, the mind tends to concentrate more than in full attention. And when the mind is concentrating, it has the tendency to be trapped in words, reactions. And the question is that, is that possible for one to be in full attention? To compound, what is full attention? Just like when the speaker is speaking here, can you give full attention? Not merely concentrating on his words. Because those words themselves have no meaning. But when we really give full attention, those words may point to something that we can perceive together. When we are in full attention, we can see the beautiful trees outside, the blue sky, the smell of the grass. We can feel everything. But when we are concentrating, they are only thoughts going on and on and on. Can we see the fact of that? Or try to approach that fact?
able, or should I want to be able, when I have full attention, to see the things that we both see, also the way you see them.
Sorry, sir?
So you say, I have full attention. Let's say I have full attention. We see the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess what you're saying is that if you and I both have full attention, we will see the same thing.
Yes, of course.
But I'm not in full attention. I'm still me. So I put my own things on it.
Yes. So that's why one has to be aware of this.
So that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
When I have full attention, then you and I will really see the same.
Of course, of course. Okay. So the speaker merely putting up such a statement that one must perceive the fact of it. That's when everybody is in full attention. Everybody sees the same thing. But when the mind is concentrating, the concentration is unique. Everybody sees different things, have different experiences, feelings. And all those things divide us. Everybody concentrates on different things. Therefore, have different perceptions, different views, ideas, conclusions. And in full attention, there is no me. In full attention, there's no me. When the mind is really aware of everything, not only outwardly, but also inwardly, there's no me at all.
That is scary.
Please be with that feeling. Thank you, sir, being honest. Be with that. Why do you feel scary? Let's investigate it.
Because there's no me.
Yes. And then what? What happens?
Let's say I've had one or two experiences that remind me of this.
Yeah.
And that's very beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
Very truth, but they didn't last very long.
Don't seek that. Don't seek. I want this to last longer.
To put it differently, I got scared and I jumped out of that situation. I pulled myself out, or put myself back in, I guess.
Put yourself.
Yeah. So I have this experience where there is no me. I have full attention, but then I get scared, or it's doesn't. Yeah, I
understand, sir.
Contradicting. If I'm not in there, then I cannot be scared because I'm not in there. But apparently, there's a little bit left. There's still some consciousness of me experiencing this situation.
Yes, and then the scary feeling pop up, and so, sir, please investigate if you are really serious into this feeling of being scary. Because you are still what you are. You are still where you are. You are here. Why? There's also me inside.
I would say I would be very vulnerable.
Be vulnerable, sir. We are all vulnerable. That's the fact of human being.
No, but in a way,
yeah.
In that situation, suddenly it becomes I am everything, and everything is me. So suddenly all the things that I do in my normal life, where I'm just me with the ego, suddenly, you
suddenly the ego,
you see, and it's like a judgment, right? You suddenly see all the things I do normally in my life, all the decisions that I make.
So sorry?
The decisions that I make,
okay.
Like the bad things that I do, whatever. That comes then clear. Like I'm basically doing it to myself at such a point.
So if you see this way, you mean that the mind is afraid of the end, ending something.
Fear of ending something?
Yeah, because the mind is scary. It means that the mind is afraid of ending something. The mind is afraid of ending the me. Yeah. Or we can say the mind is afraid of death. Is that so? But everybody will die eventually.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it death. It's more like becoming alive, being born, or being part of everything. So.
Sorry, sir, you mean what is being part of life?
Part of everything, like understanding all, feeling all.
Yeah.
It's not understanding in a sensible way, but
yeah, understand. Like now, we can try to understand that kind of scary feeling. Because I'm still here, everything's good. Why do I feel scary when I'm in full attention, or when I just move over to the full attention a little bit?
Are you here?
I mean, that's not me, and the whole body is here. The me, I mean, psychologically, it's merely something illusory. But we tend to think that it's something existing. We tend to grasp it. We tend to hold on to it. We want to eternalize it. But it is merely a product of the disordered state of mind. When the mind is in full attention, everything is gone. There's no me. But when the me is back, thinking about that, the mind feels scary. But when the mind is really in full attention, there's no me. There's no scary feelings at all.
You know this out of experience? Or?
The speaker says what he has gone through and what he is going through all the time. And the speaker said that when one is in full attention completely, there's no me, there's no scary feelings. It is just what is. The mind is seeing what is as it is. This moment here. But when the me comes back, thinking about that, and then this sense of ending something, ending the me, brings this feeling of fear. But when one is really in full attention, there's no me, there's no fear at all. And it's possible for one to live a life with full attention.
Without the me.
Without the me. The speaker now is putting up that question. We can want to go into it to find out for oneself. It's not about you should do something or not do something. We don't do that. But can one live a life with full attention? As the speaker says, when one's in full attention, there's no fear at all. Not possible. Because there's no me. The me is full of fear, isn't it? That's very clear, isn't it? When there's no me, there's no fear at all. Sir, please find out for yourself. Madam, sir. That's only what is. When there's no me, there's no self. The mind will come upon what is goodness. Being good.
I would think that would not exist at that point.
What not exist?
Goodness.
So what do you mean by goodness?
Well, like both the word and the fact that there would be something as a judgment.
So if we just use the word goodness to point to something that's not a judgment, meaning being a fact of living, being there's no me, there's only care, compassion, real care for human beings without being hampered or hindered by the self-centered state. We don't see goodness as something verbal or philosophical or whatever. We don't see that. We see it's a fact of living. When life is full of care for everybody, compassion.
Is the care and compassion naturally occurring? So when there is no me, and
Of course,
you are.
Of course,
Yeah.
because you are one with everybody, everything. The energy has no boundary. But when there's a me, there's a self, there's a center, so there's a boundary. And the mind only care about the things within the boundary. The energy can't go out. Therefore, there's no care, let alone compassion, right? And in that boundary, there are endless conflict, contradiction, and also fear. And when everybody is living in that way, and it is, see the consequence. We can all feel that consequence. That's not good.
That's not good.
Right? Everybody's living in their own world, their own boundary. Everybody is self-centered. And everybody has contradictions, not only with themselves, but also with each other.
No, sorry. I thought that if everybody would be conscious, then that would be not good. That's what I understood.
Oh, no.
That's not what you said.
When everybody is self-centered, that's not good. So that's why it is very urgent, actually, for anyone who is really earnest and serious to come upon what is full attention and find out whether it's possible to live a life with full attention.
I'm intrigued by this because I wonder whether if there is such a thing as life or full life or
Such a thing, what is that?
yeah, if you are fully conscious and you really are aware of all the things, then
Yes.
all the things are aware of you because I guess you're open to everything. But they just go through you and you are them and they are you. And there is no you, no me. I don't know. Life is a word. In this context, it's always
So can our life be not verbal, but actual and authentic?
it just is, right?
It is.
It is.
But now, our life is merely based on thoughts, ideas. The whole society is functioning in ideas, thoughts. It's no longer natural. In living in thoughts, we create this concept of the self, the me, and everybody living with that me, the concept. So the whole society becomes utterly individualistic. See the chaotic phenomenon. See all the disorder beneath the superficial order. Politically, there's endless chaos. Economically, the same. Every corner of living. Now, almost everybody is in contradiction with each other. Almost, right? People have different opinions.
I would completely agree with you, but the all conscience, whatever I can be, would say it is the way it is because it needs to be that way, and there's no other way for it to be.
Please don't make such a very quick conclusion. We observe that, and we see it is what it is, but can we go beyond it? Or not merely stay with that superficial thing. We can go beyond it. Yeah, it is so. The whole world is like this now. There's no question about it. But can one go beyond it?
It can, but it has not reached a point for it to be.
Like for myself, sir, like as a human being, I don't care about anybody else, whether they can reach or not. I must go beyond it. I see the chaos, I see the conflict, I see the endless contradiction. This meaningless of living. I must go beyond it. I must find out what it is actually taking place in the world.
If I want ketchup from the bottle and it's empty, I squeeze it, right? But now, if I have a glass bottle, I need to squeeze really hard.
Sorry, sir?
If I want to get ketchup from an empty bottle, I squeeze it. But if it's a glass bottle, I have to squeeze really hard.
Sir, please don't imagine that way, because that imagination only gives you misunderstanding. This topic is not, we must be very careful. Any possible analogy or imagination only bring about further thoughts that can prevent us from seeing the truth. Don't say it's difficult or not. Find out for yourself, sir. Otherwise,
I'm not saying it's difficult. My point is that maybe I'm wrong, but my point is that I guess your point is the perception is what I'm just saying. Like we might not, some of us might be a glass bottle, and some of us might be a plastic bottle. You say no, that's not true. That's all our own thinking.
Yes. Because that can be very misleading if we hold on to that thought. The fact is that when to find out for oneself, we don't resist to this phenomenon. There's no point to resist, right? Because it is already what it is. But the point is that can the mind go beyond it?
Why don't we? Then?
Why don't we resist?
Why do we resist? Why don't we go beyond it?
If one resists it, there's only emotion. There's only reaction. And resisting to it has no meaning. Because it prevents one from going beyond.
Great.
Right? Because for example, when I'm resisting to the phenomenon, I'm still in entanglement with it. Therefore, I can't go beyond it. But when I see clearly what is going on, I see the danger of entanglement. I see the danger of resistance. I put aside everything. Then I go beyond it.
but I don't.
So the,
Do I?
So the question, as I understand it, is what's the journey from self to
to this, you say that way, right? But so I understand this. The speaker also saying that it demands tremendous work, diligence from one to end the ego, to compound what is full attention, and live a life in full attention. It demands one's very serious attitude, the eagerness, diligence. To see clearly the structure of the me, the ego. In that seeing clearly, the mind dissolve it. So it demands one's careful penetration into the psyche and a complete observation. In that total observation, the mind is able to dissolve everything. I mean the me, the ego.
So the hard thing is getting to know the me. Acknowledging the me and seeing it for what it is.
Yes. Because the me is always projecting what should be.
But then the me is also projecting the difficulties in getting to know the me.
Yes. And the various fear that prevents the me going into one's self.
Yeah, which is in itself an argument to how do you call this? I don't know.
So that's why it demands hard work for one to penetrate and break that loop or the pattern. The me has very stubborn patterns. So the mind must be very subtle and careful to be able to pick it up, break it up.
What was it, your experience? Was it a journey or was it like a moment of transition?
It's good, very good question, sir. I would say it's very dangerous or misleading to say it's a journey because it implies steps or time or progress, and then that's illusion. And it is a momentary transition, but which demands physical time, which one is not aware of. Is that clear?
Me too.
So, like one grew up from a baby to a man. He grew up, but he can't be aware of it every day. Similarly, so one really have this momentary transition, but there's also, the neurons need to change, which takes physical time, which is beyond one's consciousness. But when one thinks that it's a journey, you see, it is already a projection of the consciousness. And then there's time involved as the psychological time, and also steps. Then that's something misleading. I don't know whether, Joyce, this made it clear to you or not.
I think it's very clear. I really like this expression, momentary transition with physical time that you are not aware of. That makes very sense to me.
Yeah, I would say you walk a journey, but your destination is with every step. It's there every step of the way. That might be.
Don't think it's sad, because if you think it's easy to think now for you to as something a journey or steps. What matter is you do.
No, but I said both. Right? You take the journey, take the step, but your destination is there every step of the way. Like it's there, but it's not. Or
Sorry, sir, you mean the destination is the step of the way?
is there? Because the destination is there every step of the way.
The destination is there every step of the way.
Yeah.
Well, I would suggest no thinking that way, because even thinking that way is also misleading. Don't imagine it. What you can do is just do it, and let the mind change naturally. You don't need to think about a destination or a purpose, because there are so many practices in this so-called spiritual world or the religious world have various destinations or purpose. They are all misleading.
So, if the purpose is to dismantle stories or see stories for what they are, then adding stories on top of it is not productive.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not that the stories themselves are wrong or missing. Just the fact that they are stories is already a problem.
Yes. Story.
It's like a metaphor or something that you explain to yourself in words. In the moment it's in a word, it's already
more and more.
Additional layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. So the mind can be easy to churn out too many explanations, but all those prevent one from actually acting. So that's why what we are discussing today here is not more explanations, not more stories, not more ideas. But all those can point to this action. That is, can one put aside everything? Put aside everything. That is to be free from any entanglement with anything. There's no entanglement at all. We tend to hold on to so many things. Is that possible to put aside everything? Just put aside. That's the action. What I need to do now. Put aside all the explanations, theories, ideas. Just be quiet now. Just be quiet. Put aside all the ambitions, all the dreams, all the targets, all the plans. Just put aside. Just be quiet and be with nothing. Just be nothing. Can the mind end the state of being chattering?
You say again?
Can the mind end the state of being chattering? When the mind is chattering, the mind is entangled with the language, the words, the expressions. It is nothing. But in that entanglement, the mind feels there's something, which is an illusion. Just be aware. Listen. Listen to the background noises in this room. Listen to the birds twittering outside. Feel yourself in the chair. Find a support, find the ground. Be aware of any tendency to concentrate and not concentrate. When one is in full attention, concentration has its right place. When you do your work, you need to concentrate to some extent. That's fine. But when there's no attention, concentration only brings about disorder. We can say it again. In full attention, concentration has its place for your work, for your life. But when there's no full attention, concentration will only lead to disorder. Please.
So if we circle back to goodness, I don't really know how to explain it, but it seems that if you are able to find this balance between concentration and awareness, then goodness might not even be something you need to explain so much.
Good is just flowers.
Yeah.
Flowers naturally. Right.
So trying to be good or trying to avoid badness, that's not really the thing.
No, yeah. We can only see what is not good, but we cannot describe what is good. We can negate something. In that negation, the mind can compound what is the true, what is the good. everything just flowers naturally, without any efforts. No trying to be good or try to deal with the bad. When one is really in goodness, there's a right action taking place naturally.
I like the irony of having a subject for today and talking about it, and the conclusion being, yeah, don't worry about it.
Sorry, sir, I don't quite catch you. What do you mean?
Well, this is a subject for today, right?
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yes.
And then the conclusion is basically like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's not important. It will be okay.
But what is more important is to be able to find out what is full attention. Right. To be in that state. Our life has various, psychological demands from everybody else, from the environment. So the mind can be easily concentrating on various things. And then life is inevitably unbalanced, trapped by various holes created by the concentration.
Is there any point to, you say that that's the point, or point is to explore awareness, right? To practice that, to try to achieve that.
Yes, sir. So it is, as the speaker says, it is very urgent to do that. Very urgent.
Why urgent?
Urgent because all of our issues are created by this problem of lack of attention. And lack of attention, we still want to solve the issues. Then we create more concentration. So we trapped in the issues, creating more issues, and want to solve more issues. Then it is an endless loop. But when one is really in full attention, all the problems are gone. Otherwise, the mind will be busy all the time, perhaps for the lifetime, to deal with various endless issues.
Is my awareness or my level of awareness, has it have any relationship to anybody else or anything else?
Your level of awareness is related to anybody else? Is that your question? So what do you mean by the word related?
Is my ability to be aware in any way dependent on anything else?
Is your awareness is independent of anything? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean by the word independent?
Well, you make the point that it's necessary because a lot of things are happening and it's all because of certain things. But why does that matter? Why does everything else matter?
Why does everything else matter?
Or anything else? In being aware.
Oh, so for example, I just give example. It's not true. Like the speaker will use the example of me himself. He says that when he's living in this self-centered living with the boundary, so his energy only go to himself for his own satisfaction, fulfillment, or ambition. And he feels that, he perceives that he's always struggling. He has a lot of contradictions, problems, irritations. And but he still feels that he can do whatever he can do, because the whole society is promoting that message all the time. So I'm an individual, and I'm responsible for myself. So I don't feel that I'm really related to anybody else. That's my current way of living. But at the same time, I suffer in various ways. I feel bored. I feel lonely. I feel, not able to be fulfilled myself. I have a lot of desires. Want to realize, but I can't, and then I feel quite frustrated. And I found that I'm very, very isolated. There's nobody around me, and everybody has their own opinions or views. It's very difficult to have a very open and friendly conversation. And but I still feel that I'm a person, I'm an individual, and I'm not related to anybody else. So that's my current living. And as I become older and older, I feel more and more necessary to deal with my suffering. Because over the years, I don't feel that. I feel that the suffering is mounting. I want to deal with that. So I began to observe myself, to dig into the psyche of the me. And because I have tried various ways and nothing helped, I attended a group or joined a religion, follow some rituals, or doing some various practices. Nothing really helped. I'm still where I was. So I put aside all those things. I began to dig into the me, the self. So I began to realize that I must deal with that, because I feel that all the issues are directly related to the me, to the ego. And being aware of the me, the ego, it's no longer my choice. Not that I choose to do that, but I have no choice. I must do that. Otherwise, my issue keeps pounding me all the time. So seeing that being aware is no longer a choice, now I just do that in my life. And when I dig into the psyche, seeing more and more clearly what is actually going on in the psyche, understanding more and more clearly the structure of the me. I feel that I'm related to everybody. I feel that I'm related to everybody, because everybody has the same. Everybody's mind follows the same principle. When I find out the structure of the me, the problems, the issues, it applies to everybody. But in my previous state, I feel that I only belong to myself. I'm not relevant to anybody. But when I really see clearly the essence of me, the structure, and also the mischief it has played on me all my lifetime, I feel that this discovery no longer belongs to me. It applies to everybody on this planet. And with that insight, I perceive the suffering of everybody. Because everybody's suffering has the same structure. And I see that, okay, our way of living is totally wrong. Because everybody is so self-centered. There's endless conflict, turbulence. And we all suffer. And everybody is doing their way to escape the suffering. But the suffering is never gone, it's there. And everybody feel that he is not relevant to anybody else. Everybody feels the same. And this pattern perpetuates this egocentric world, society. Everybody thinks that way. Amazing. But now I feel that way of thinking is still the manifestation of the me, the ego. When the ego is gone, when I observe it carefully, totally, this connection is something natural. But when there's me, there's only self-inclusion, right? And in that inclusion, the me feels that I'm not relevant to anybody else. And when the whole society follows the same pattern, see the consequence. So, the whole society is trapped in that pattern. And everybody thinks in the same way. Therefore, there's a re-enhancement of that pattern.
Yeah, I see your point.
Can I?
In my life,
Yeah.
I experience the same thing.
Yeah. Can I break away from that pattern?
Well, my question or what I wonder is that, well, yeah, I guess can I do that? But is what I see and what other people experience, is that a boundary to achieve that?
Sorry,
Is it in your way of your development?
sorry, sir. Could you repeat that question?
Well, is the yeah, it's so you see these things, you experience these things, and you have a reaction to it, whatever that might be, and that is, I guess, that is also something you should be aware of.
Of course, sir.
Right?
Of course, sir.
And because that's, well, it is the self, and it's might be in your way of being aware.
Sir,
of
first,
being more conscious.
of course, I have to say that the self is very cunning. Very cunning. So, I mean, this awareness is something very total, very complete. And second, this experience is no longer my personal experience. Just be clear, this experience is no longer personal because it is always there. It's not something when seeks to reproduce. Know that.
So you should let it in.
Let it in.
Or let it through.
Let it through. It's always there. It's not something I want to repeat. No, it's there all the time. So it's no longer something personal. And everybody can see that, in full attention. As back to what we said earlier, if we are in full attention, we see the same thing. That experience is no longer personal. No say, oh, that's my personal experience. Know that.
No, I understand. But that might be, for me, well, there's still, there's total awareness, but there's a tiny little bit of me.
Yes.
That's going to be very scared when all that comes.
Kick out that me completely. When that's me begin to think about that, this feeling of being scary.
Yeah, but you're saying stand on the beach and there's a tsunami coming and just be cool with it.
So if you're really in a beach and there's a really tsunami, and that's the physical danger. But no, you are imagining something which is not true at all. I
know, but that is how this little tiny residue of me
is
experiencing it.
But that's
what's holding me back. And I know it's fake and I shouldn't.
Be with it, right? See the fact of it. Because when you are really in physical danger, you must run away. That's something, that's something beyond argument. But when we imagine something dangerous, observe deeply, stay with that feeling, not to run away from it. Because it's, you see clearly it's something illusory. For physical danger, we need to do something about it. That's no question about it, right? But psychologically, it's illusion. Don't run away from it. Just be with it and see what will happen. That's something marvelous you will see if you really not escape or run away. The whole neuron system will dissolve that fear. But if you run away, the fear will repeat all the time. Just hold, just behold, just go through it. Don't run away. Then any illusion will be dissolved by the neuron system. That's something very factual or scientific. But when you run away, then a pattern is formed. Then that pattern is repeated.
I agree.
So just find out and be free from that. Seriously.
No, I agree. It's what I... Yeah, it's something that I cannot put into words.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, just kick out the last residue of the me.
No.
You see.
Fine.
So then we can come back to this paper. Like this sentence, in a living that denies truth, there's exhibited courtesy and loyalty. In guile and kindness, there's hypocrisy. Let's see the meaning together. what denies the truth? The me, isn't it? The me denies the truth. The me exhibits courtesy and loyalty. The me is very cunning. There's only hypocrisy. Is that so?
So you're saying that the courtesy and loyalty are a hypocrisy.
Isn't it? And behind the courtesy and loyalty, there's a purpose. The me has various purposes.
But you could say the same thing of disloyalty and
No.
whatever uncourtesy.
No, we don't see that. We don't be careful about the language, because in English and also in the Western language, it is easy to say yes or no, the opposite. But that's the difficulty of translation. Don't think about the opposite. Like, of course, disloyalty is another problem.
Okay, let me say,
Yeah.
if you
Mm.
express a gesture of courtesy, does that yeah.
We don't deny courtesy. We don't condemn loyalty. That's the point. I mean, courtesy and loyalty has its right place. But you see, no, the courtesy and loyalty has go to stream. What happens? We don't say, yeah, you should not be courtesy, or you should not be loyal. It's pointless. But why? Now there are too much courtesy or too much loyalty.
Can we say that?
Yeah, please.
So people respect and care when there is love. It's naturally.
Naturally, yes.
But courtesy and the loyalty, sometimes it's a behavior which is calculated by the mind.
Yes.
The me is calculating how to behave.
And also, so when you say the word disloyalty, what do you mean by that?
Basically what she said, what you said.
Yes. Okay.
So the accepting truth does not exclude any of the other things.
No. Actually, living in truth, it has nothing to do with loyalty or disloyalty. Being true has nothing to do with loyalty or disloyalty. But when we think about loyalty and disloyalty, the mind is trapped in the dualism, right? Dualism between loyalty and disloyalty. But when the mind is really in truth, it is neither loyal or disloyal.
Yes.
Good.
But some others might think differently.
So,
Yeah.
as I understand it, it's not that the hypocrisy just is a condemnation. It's just
It's
if courtesy and loyalty should be seen as they are,
yeah.
you know, and they have a hypocritical aspect to them.
Yes.
Yes.
It can have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what it is.
You see the fact that and go beyond it.
Yeah.
It depends on where it's coming from, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to kind of analyze the situation or
No.
like you say it's in this case it's like this, in that case it's like that. Just like I'm trying to parse the sentence. So when there is courtesy and loyalty, it's evidence of a self manufacturing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And that in itself is a hypocrisy, not necessarily because therefore it's bad to be loyal or it's bad to be courteous. It's just what it is. That's what I'm trying to say it without that the hypocrisy itself, it's not a judgment. It's a reflection.
Yeah. So we'll all be cautious of the word, the language. There's no any condemnation here. It's only point to what is. It's nothing about loyalty or disloyalty. It's not about courtesy or the opposite. But the fact that when people in that state, as the gentleman said, that there's kind of a Hippocratic aspect in it.
Yeah, but you're saying there's a danger of hypocrisy, or it could be in there.
Of course, be aware, because as long where there's hypocrisy, there's danger.
Yeah.
So then we can come back to the truth. Truth is something absolute. And we say the courtesy, loyalty has this Hippocratic aspect. It is something absolute. It is what is. And what is something absolute, isn't it? But in thinking, there's only relative things. But what is, the fact is absolute. If you any misunderstanding, please ask. Let's clear it. Because we are all very cautious in this environment to use the word, to point to the thing carefully, without being trapped by any word.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. As hard as you can try, the words are just not
the thing. Yeah. Let's continue.
Yeah. No, it's. I wonder what's the point of the words at all, which is a good point to make.
So you ask.
If you are open to discussing things in any other way than words, then you would be open to investigating.
So the speaker was before saying that the intention is not necessarily to understand the word, but to understand the message. You know, the words are the carrier of the message.
Yeah.
And they don't really capture the message 100%, and that's the problem
Of all language, yeah.
Yeah.
Of all languages, it's the same. Yeah.
It's a very crude, tool compared to what's going on.
Yeah. It's what drew me to the Dao De Jing. But,
yeah.
So we can see that, like, if a speaker remember correctly, in the first chapter of Dao De Jing, what is the first sentence of the Dao De Jing? In English.
Truth that could be described is not the eternal truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, then when I heard that, I was hooked. But
so that's why we can use the language, but we must go beyond language to perceive the actual, something absolute, something very certain. But the first thing we need to do is to be aware of various conclusions or viewpoints or opinions we have already accumulated, because that things can make us feel certain, but that's also something deceptive. Only when we start this journey with something with absolutely uncertain, then we can compound to something very certain. But if we carry on these opinions or ideas all the time, this exploration only makes one feel uncertain, because what one has been held on to has been shaken, and then there's nothing to be found. But when one starts from this journey with everything put aside, knowing nothing, completely in uncertainty, and then when we will compound something certain, which is beyond any words.
Can you and I understand one another at that point?
Well, what do you mean?
Can we?
Yeah.
It's, no, we can't, because we don't have to. So my question is, like, if we go beyond words and we are conscious,
So,
can we experience each other still? Can we do something like we do with words? We communicate. But if we go beyond words, is there something else that
so
when we experience the same thing, do we know from one another? But we don't, because there's no us.
So, is there experience that not tainted by words? Obviously, most people's experience are distorted by words. Words play a role in their experience. So therefore, there's endless self-deception. But when we really experience something without being tainted or distorted by words, what's the point of experiencing it? When you experience it, finished. When one experiences that way, when it's very certain, everybody's mind follows the same principle. I don't need to confirm with somebody or ask somebody, do you have the same experience? I don't feel it's necessary to do that. Because those things are beyond the verse. I can perceive it directly without any distortion. That's it.
I would want to share it with someone.
Share it.
Yeah.
Can this be shared or not? Let's investigate it. The speaker said, the gentleman said that he wants to share it with other people. But this stuff can be shared or not. Share, what does it mean? What does the word share mean?
I would say no, because there's no I, so there's you in this. If we are there.
That's only what is, and we as human beings can see what is. There's no point to share. Is that so? I can share with you food. That's fine. Share with you some water, a pancake. But for this thing, it is always there. It is up to everybody to perceive it, to see it. I can't share it with you or with anybody else. I can see that the mind is in its own enclosure. The mind is not in attention. He's not perceiving, and I can't help anything. Right?
Yeah. Next question arises: why would I want to go there?
Where?
There.
What is there?
Being full conscious and everywhere, everything.
So, as we said earlier in the session,
maybe what's the point? Well, it might be a bit of a better question. You can escape this, but
the speaker will respond in this way. No, he will not skip it. And he said he will say that he perceives directly the tremendous suffering. The correlation between the suffering, human being suffering, with this self-centered state, petty, irritated, argumentative, and egocentric. So he embarks on this exploration to end me. He doesn't want to go there, but he ends up there. He ends up there by accident.
I think this is asking a very good question.
Yeah, please.
If I don't misunderstand, so when I can escape, why do I have to face it up? Is that right?
Can you?
When I can escape.
I got your point.
When I can, I captured the word escape from your saying.
Yeah.
When I can escape in entertainment, in consumerism, why should I confront the fact, to face up the fact, to be full attention, to do the self-inquiry? Is that right? Is this the question?
No, my question is, what's the point? Like you can escape bad things. That might be the point, but you become part of, or you, like it's the tsunami, right? When you are full conscious, then all that will be there. All of it, all the time. There will not be a you holding anything back.
No.
So you escape, you might escape the feeling of having to hold it back. But you will not be holding it back. So that's a reason, might be a reason to do it. But then you are running from something that's not good.
So if I understand you correctly, you mean that the escape, the feeling of not holding back, what does that mean? Escape from not holding back, if I don't mishear you.
Yeah, what's like now I'm the me, and I can decide, okay, that does not come in, and that does come in. I can regulate that.
Control that.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Because there's pressure of getting some result when the mind controls something or regulates something.
I would say it's what I'm used to, what you already said before. Like it's what I'm used to, what I'm knowing, what I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
More than anybody else demanding something of me.
So what do you mean by more than anybody else? What's that?
Well, yeah, like society demands things of me, right?
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I understand. Yeah.
In a way, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm my own man, as they say.
Yeah.
So then you seek the full awareness.
Yeah.
Or you work towards that. You try to find it.
Oh, so maybe a speaker can respond in this way. So this full awareness is not his choice, or he want to work on it, want to achieve that.
It was an accident.
Well, he found that there's no way to escape from anything. And he sees the limitation or the trap of escaping. Now, why do human beings escape? What does escape mean? I think Joyce starts another topic. why do we escape? Through what we escape? Pleasure, isn't it? We escape through pleasure. And the speaker, well, just take him as an example. He observed tremendously. He said that his suffering, not his suffering, everybody's suffering is directly related to pleasure. When the fear, when the agony is totally at one with pleasure, but one still escaping from one's issues into pleasure, it's an endless trap. So when one sees the danger of seeking pleasure and escape through seeking pleasure, one stop escape. One stop escape. Full awareness is not a choice. I hope this conveys something to you. When I don't see the danger of the escaping through pleasure, when I don't see the correlation or the direct relationship between suffering and pleasure, I think being fully aware is a choice. So I may ask, what is the point of doing that? When I'm asking that, I think that's a choice, that's an option. But to the speaker, he sees the fact of this relationship between the suffering, human beings, the tremendous suffering and pleasure seeking. Therefore, he embodies that understanding by not escape. And not escaping means being fully aware, which is not a choice, which is not an option. Because only the me, the self, is making choice, options.
That's a side effect of wanting to end your suffering. Or
Sorry?
diminish. So it's a consequence. Like you wanna limit your suffering by limiting your ego, the self, and a consequence of that is that you will become full aware.
And in fully aware, so the mind ends all the sufferings. In fully aware, in full attention, there's no ego. So it's not only limiting the suffering, but can one really come upon a living that is free of any contradiction, that is never tainted by the ego. In the egocentric living or the thinking, there's always option. And the whole society seems to based on that mindset, offering people options. We don't condemn it, but it is behind this thinking. But when one live a life with full attention, it is never an option, because that implies the ending of the ego, which means, well, it's another topic, but let's just simply use that word, death. Death is not an option. The death of the me, the ego, is not an option. Right? But when the mind is thinking, the self-centered thinking, everything is banalized. I don't know that word, it makes sense or not. Banalized as an option. Something such a huge, something total is being reduced to something as an option. And that's the ego always do. Using ideas to banalize, to reduce something to something insignificant. But actually, it's tremendously significant. You see, the pattern of the me, the self, the ego is so complicated. We need to observe it carefully, completely. It is ending the me, the ego, is something so magnificent that can't be reduced to anything as an option.
You how should I interpret this? It's so magnificent because you're in awe of it, or it's so big that...
Because it has a tremendous meaning to our living. Because that's points to the fact, the truth of living. So as we have discussed today through the session, the me has a fear, which can prevent the me from ending the me. The me have various options or directions or escapes from facing this tremendous issue of full attention. So it is for one to observe completely, see the correlations, the direct relation between suffering, pleasure, the me, the ego. They are point to one thing, probably, which is beyond the word, but it's one thing which can be very simple, but beyond the words.
I will have to think about it.
Maybe before we finish this session, let's have a look at the last paragraph. Here. Is there any difference between being respected and being slighted? Is there any difference between praise and insult? What is your answer, madam and gentlemen, at the moment?
I would say for me that...
yeah.
Oh, sorry, you wanted to say?
That's okay.
Okay. Those are very self-driven words, like a kind of a parsing of what's happening, like a narrative over what's happening. And by being praised or insulted is it's how things that are happening are relating to the self. That's basically what these things mean.
Yeah. You, madam?
Yeah, for me it's quite natural that things are changing. So also the object and also the view to the object is changing. So for me it's one of the other of the coin. It's one coin with both sides. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you, gentlemen? So,
it says nothing about me what somebody else says about me. It says something about them, and even for them, it's really not.
Yeah.
One person will say one thing, and the other will say another.
Yeah, and
Really
sometimes it's okay to be slighted. I mean, or to be praised. It's not a matter of being.
yes. No.
It's also kind of
Artificial.
amusement
Yes.
between people to express what they think about you
Yeah.
or about each other.
Yeah.
And still, it can be also very, well, in an internet with friends and with family, it's good to exchange views and energy. Yeah. For me, huh? Yeah.
Can I also add that my experience is that when the self is very large, then everything that happens has some relationship to it, you know? And you might say something and I might take it as an insult because, you know, I'm the center of everything that's
Yeah.
happening, you know? So whether I'm being respected or being slighted, everything that's happening is always being judged in that prism because the self is so big and everything is, from the perspective of the self, is how it's relating to the self. You know?
Yeah, but it's also a question of taste.
It relates to yourself.
What do you mean?
When somebody expresses an opinion about something, if you like praises you or slights you.
So when the me, when the self, when the ego is active, it always want to, he like to be praised or respected, and don't want to be insulted or slighted. But actually, either being respected or being slighted triggers the me, the self.
You could say that it's like an indicator, right?
Yeah.
So somebody has an opinion about you, and then you can use that to let it point to your me.
So like when somebody is like insulting me, I observe it. Okay, that's his opinion about me. But if I take that opinion seriously, I mean, he will trick the me inside me, and then all kinds of feelings and complications will follow. At the same time, when somebody praise me, I also be very cautious because that praise can also, activate the self, the me. It sounds pleasurable to be praised or respected, but I also see the danger with that because the me can be easily activated. So I treat the respect and insult as the same. I don't take it into the heart. I can say some people sometimes when they are in a good mood, they can praise somebody, but when they're in a bad mood, they can be very judgmental or critical, or even insult people. But I say both praise and insult as something very dangerous. I must be very cautious. And when somebody keeps praising me, I feel very uncomfortable because I feel the danger of it. That's the tricky part of the pleasure. Because the very core of the pleasure is the me, isn't it?
Yeah.
I must be aware of that. Being aware of it, not being trapped in it.
No, but that's how you can use it then, right?
Yeah.
if I praise you,
Yeah.
you say, "Oh, I feel good."
But I feel very dangerous because the me can be easily activated to function subconsciously to create issues and mischiefs.
You
Trying to
can,
get more praise.
Yeah, for example.
but then you are. So I have a ball. This is the me. You praise me, which is the ball,
Yeah.
and that's me.
And then,
Then the ball will go bigger because
yeah,
the me likes that.
when I was belittled by somebody else, for example, also the me.
Yeah, but now you can use this sentence and what it says to take that ball, the me, and see where it is. Because you praise me or insult, and then you do this to the ball. Me.
So the problem is that,
You can recognize where that insult is going.
Yes.
Target. And you can use this sentence and use people's compliments and insults to recognize the me in you.
of course, you are right. But back to our daily life, can we live a life without the me? Otherwise, when the me is there, when they praise somebody, praise me, the me will become immediately expanding. Only when I can do it is when I live a daily life with full attention. I can deal with anybody's praise or insult. Otherwise, as long as the me is always active,
That's not the point I'm trying to make. It's a tool to find the me in you, the you in you. Like
It's also kind of communication. I
Ye-
mean, I praise you, it's my communication towards you. And maybe not to your ego, but just, it's also kind of energy.
I see, yes.
I mean, it's not to, and yeah, when it becomes a kind of belief, oh, they praise me, oh, I'm wonderful, that's very outside of your own existence. But if you, because it's also people, and also when people insult you, sometimes I mean, if you're a bore at that moment, and you know I'm a bore or something, you're not in your mood, and somebody reacts on that, can be very clarifying.
Yes.
I mean, can be, it's not, it's both, it's not a big deal for me, or for not me. I don't mind.
I understand what he means, madam.
Yeah.
Yes, because either praise and or insult are something verbal, and then one must observe completely, not being trapped or dominated by the verbal thing.
It's not truth, it's just a
Some-
moment.
Just a moment with some verbal expressions, and then that not represent the truth.
Yeah, for me, or not me.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, madam.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, yes. So I understand what you mean. Yes, that can be a mirror through which you can see the self, right? When somebody praise you or insult you, and you can use that moment as a mirror to see, oh, the me is activated. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you can find the me in you
Yeah.
by using this.
And I can observe it, and can I end it? End the me.
Or
If
connect.
you so wish, then you can.
Yeah, or connect to it.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, toch? Is that, that's what I feel if I hear you. I think it's also a kind of connection
Why would you want to connect to it?
with somebody.
Connect with somebody.
Why do you would like to do that?
Well, you want to connect to the me, to the ego.
I
So
don't think if I praise somebody or I offend somebody, I'm only, it's not, there are so many reasons or purposes, or sometimes it's quite spontaneous, or it's not a end.
Madam, if I understood correctly, you say that
Yeah.
what you says and what he says has something in common. Is that what you mean?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
It was a question. If your question is about connection, if you say I want to, somebody expresses something towards somebody, maybe it's to connect, to make a connection.
Oh, it only leads to disconnection.
Yeah, I think we already have a connection. If we want to.
I think so.
If we don't disconnect it.
Sorry?
No, it's not about you and me.
No, in general.
Just
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah, between people.
So one is living in full attention. One is in connection with all the human beings. But not for a particular connection with somebody. That's something different. That's we must make it clear before the end of today's session. One is in full attention. One is connect with all the human beings. But when we think about a particular connection with somebody, with some specific person, that connection perhaps is a disconnection.
Isn't that intrusive to be connected to everybody?
Of course.
Maybe for next week.
Maybe for next week.
Can we take this?
Of course, madam. Keep it, please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I hope we can meet in the future sessions to go through various fundamental topics. And then thank you for coming here. I hope all the best for the whole week. Yeah.
I want to thank you, but
Please.
like I don't want to make your ego bigger.
No.
Not that it's too big.
No, sir.
I think we already connected in a way that we understand that we appreciate each other's work.
Yeah.
And
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if I think that it's probably pretty hard for people to come here in the middle of the day, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're interested, we can also host something like this in the evening. I have a living room. If you want.
In your living room?
Yeah. In the evening when it's easier for people to come.
Oh, yeah. Good.
In the evening at your place?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Good.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, because you get this place for some type of hours, and it's
Yes, we
yeah,
just
it's
rented
kind of
2
limited.
hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So as I
Okay.
said, I live in Amsterdam in the city center. It's pretty easy to get to, and I have a big living room. So I think if you want,
Good. I think so, yeah.
maybe we can.
I
Yeah.
can give you my
Yeah.
number.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for coming here,
Yes,
madam.
please. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And maybe I will join you another time.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And madam,
Thank you.
here's a booklet.
Okay. Nice. I downloaded it
Ah,
already,
good,
but
yeah.
it's nice to put it in my
Good.
pockets. Yeah.
This is the real meaning of Dr. Ching.
Yeah.
The real one.
Well, okay, I'm fluid, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay.
You have a WhatsApp, right?
interesting.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And if you have interest in the future, welcome to join the session again. We
I
can
will.
explain a lot of fundamental questions and issues together.
Yes, I will. And it was interesting to. It's rare to hear somebody speak or talk to somebody that on this level, in this way.
Good. Thank you. Okay. See you soon. Sir.
And
Yeah.
if you would like to keep, you can also have one.
Okay, thank you.
Booklet.
Yeah.
This is the PDF
And-
that's on the website. Right?
Yeah, and also you can also download the full
complete version.
of the book. Oh, I think it's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can use the electronic version to click the link,
Yeah.
and it's free copy from this link. It is it's the translation of the 81 chapters of Dao Jing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
In WhatsApp.
In WhatsApp, I think this one. No, not this one. I have to.
You have
This is
to.
another number.
Okay.
I will add you. Maybe I add you.
Okay. Yeah.
I will add you later.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Great.